Hello to our freaky family. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Kandi.
And this is Sips of Crime. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to episode 30. Wow.
I know. That's crazy.
That's pretty crazy.
I really just still feel like we just started this.
Yeah. We say that all the time, but yeah, I
don't feel like we've been doing it a year.
It's insane. Well, we hope you all had a fantastic Valentine's Day. Did you guys end up doing anything special? I know that we had talked about that we didn't really have any plans, but...
No. Did y'all do anything special?
So we didn't do anything on Valentine's Day, but we did end up going out Friday, I believe it is. I'm not going to say the name of where we went because we literally had the worst experience ever.
Oh no.
At a restaurant. Yeah. They were having a Valentine's Day 4-course special type thing, for one set price. Mm-hmm. And so, we had not been there. And so we were like, yeah, let's go check it out. And so we go. It was so bad that we literally ended up laughing about the entire thing throughout our dinner. That's how bad it was.
Just your service, your food?
Everything. So I made a reservation on Open Table. Mm-hmm. We arrived, and you know how I am, so we were early. Okay. Yeah. We arrived there a little early, and they told us that it would be just a minute, and to have a seat, there's a lounge area by the bar, and it's actually a really nice little lounge area, so we had a seat, and 30 minutes goes by. And I'm like, okay, maybe this is just, maybe they got busier than they were expecting, and Will's like, well, I'm going to go and get us a drink, if we're going to be waiting. And I was like, okay, great. So we got a drink. He brought me back my cocktail and there was lipstick on it from the previous customer on the glass. That was the first thing. Yep. Then finally, I asked the hostess, I was like, hey, I said, is there something wrong with our reservation? I was like, we've been sitting over here for about 40 minutes. And then the look of horror that crossed over that girl's face. And she said, I kid you not, this is what she says to me, quote, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You guys should have stopped me and been like, bitch, where's my table? And Will looks at her and he was like, we would have never said that to you. So
this is supposed to be a upscale kind of...
It's supposed to be for what I paid for that meal, yes. Yes, it's supposed to be.
But I literally sit here with my mouth dropped open.
Yep. So we sit down, and the waitress was actually really nice. She was super sweet. She brought me a rose for Valentine's Day. And then asked, obviously the menu was already ready to go because it was a one set menu for the Valentine's Day thing. It came with, soup and 2 appetizers, the meal, and then dessert. Mm-hmm. Right. So we go down the list and we tell her what we wanted out of the options. And, one of the appetizers comes out first before the soup and everything. And so she gets back to the table and she was like, did your other, 2 starters not come out yet? And we were like, no, not yet. And so she runs back to the kitchen and comes back and she says, they're going to be out any minute now. I'm so sorry about that. And we're like, it's no big deal. So the person behind us in the table, behind us, we can hear them complaining. And we're like, oh no. And so they asked to speak to the manager and we're just sitting there oh Lord, have mercy. Now, this place is supposed to be kind of themed, kind of 20s themed, if you will. Mm-hmm. There was nothing on the walls or any sort of decorations or anything about it that screamed roaring 20s to me, except for some art that was on the walls. They had 3 huge televisions, it was definitely more sports bar, which is fine. I mean, that's totally fine if you're going to market yourself that way.
Yeah, but
if you're going to tell me that it's a roaring 20s themed restaurant, then I expect it to be a little bit more speakeasy than sports bar. So we can hear the people behind us complaining. The first appetizer that we had was actually pretty good. Nothing bad about that, but the other two things didn't come out. And so then our main course comes out.
So at this time you have no soup and you don't have your other appetizer.
Other appetizer. And so our other main course comes out and the waitress comes back and she says, have they still not brought that out to you? And we're like, no.
She's the waitress.
And I'm like, no, honey, they haven't done anything yet. Like, it's like,
who is they?
Who is they?
It's you. It's you.
It's supposed to be you who brings it to us, but
that reminds me of that TikTok. It's you,
it's
baby.
You. So at this point, we just decide that we're just going to have fun with this. Like, it's fine. Like, we were just having a good time. Will got a filet, and the darn thing come out looking like roast beef.
These were like certain options.
Yes,
so
this
like
was
you
placed together.
What you were cooking.
Yes, and it's not the first one you've made of the night. You know, like,
right?
A ton of other people had gotten this Valentine's Day meal. It was not like cooked correctly at all. It was way overcooked. I ended up getting scallops, and they were okay. Then the soup finally came out. Okay. And it was like this orange color, and it was just really fishy. It was a seafood type soup, but there was nothing really in it. Like, it was just like kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It was like fishy water that was orange.
That sounds disgusting.
Yeah. The best part of the meal was dessert, and I swear it was store-bought. Like, it had to be.
No,
like,
it wasn't.
Can't.
Did you take pictures of any of this?
No, I didn't. We literally just like
Darn
we had been sat there for probably 30 minutes or so whenever we just decided like we're just gonna have fun with this, like, you know. And we actually ended up we had a lot of fun just sitting there laughing about everything. I left a terrible review.
I mean, yes,
it was really.
At least you still took it as like and had fun with it.
We don't get date nights very often,
right?
So like,
I mean, at least it wasn't like one of those times that. Hello. Hold, please.
Did he really call you to ask you if you guys had peanut butter?
Yes. That's why I just was like, I'm not home.
Right.
Walk upstairs. He's like, well, I'm not home.
Oh.
Well, then just go get some peanut butter.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like $2. Like, grab a jar of peanut butter. It takes forever to go bad.
He has a mouse problem in the shop.
Oh, no.
Because he left these bags of mulch and they made a home, and there was like 15 mice.
Oh, no.
Mouses. Whatever. Anyway.
Mices. Goodness. We made the best out of our date night and our child-free evening. And that was that. So it was an experience.
At least though, like, I mean, really, at least you like had fun with it and you weren't one of those people that are like, oh my God, this has ruined my whole night kind of thing.
Complaining would have done absolutely nothing.
No, I mean, still would have got your soup late, your fishy soup.
Yes.
Your
the filet still would have been overcooked.
Right. Like, and I probably wouldn't have wanted to wait for them to
fix it. No, I didn't even trust the kitchen to fix it. Yeah. So anyway, point of the story though is we did end up having a great night and had fun with it, but won't go back.
No, I wouldn't. No,
we're not going back. So
no, I definitely would not.
And you should not go.
I'm not. I'm definitely not.
Don't
after
go.
That.
Don't go. We have a wine for you today, Kandi. What are we drinking?
We are gonna drink. We're gonna try.
We're gonna try.
We like it.
Hopefully we drink it.
It's called Ancient Roots. It's a red blend. Ancient roots make for time-honored vines that produce fruit with legendary intensity. Ancient Roots Red Blend pays homage to the history and tradition of thousands of years of winemaking heritage. This blend includes wine from vines whose roots extend back for generations, supporting the craftsmanship, hard work, and strength of the vines that have lasted over time. Our Ancient Roots Red Blend brings tradition to today with rich dark cherry, layered with hints of mocha and vanilla and a silky, soft finish.
Oh, all of these descriptions always make me, like, salivate.
Right?
Cheers. Okay. We're recording early, and I literally just finished coffee. So, we're going to have to take just a second here. I don't want my coffee to influence that mocha flavor. Because I think that it's really, really good.
It is good.
It's not super dry.
No, it still is a little drier than some of the reds that we have been drinking. I do not, at the moment, taste any mocha.
I'm definitely getting the cherry. I actually really like this. I was a little worried that it was overly sweet because I had just finished my coffee, and I was worried that was influencing the taste. But it's not like as dry as a Merlot or even a Cab Sav. But it is on the drier side, but it's not sucking the moisture out of my mouth. And I am definitely getting that cherry.
Yeah, definitely cherry. I don't taste the mocha though.
I actually really like this one. I'm telling you, this is going to be a problem with the star rating.
Oh yeah, we are starting that.
Yes. I would give this a 4 because I really like it, but I also
Are we doing 1 out of 5?
Yeah, 1 out of 5. I can't handle a 10 scale.
No, that's too much wiggle room. I say 3.5.
Okay, I'm good with the 3.5. I like it.
Because I do wish I could taste a little more mocha and vanilla.
I think I would like that too. Like
Just
if I could get that on the
it.
finish. 3.5. That is the rating. You also have a story for me today.
Yes. So we had a suggestion sent in by Alex Bowles.
Yeah, he actually sent us a nice little list that
this is the first one.
Yeah, this will be the first one that he recommended, but we did add the rest of his suggestions to our case list, so we'll shout him out again whenever we come through. But you guys also, if you have any case suggestions, please email them to us. We'll accept them through Instagram or Facebook messaging as well. We do keep a running list of cases that we want to cover. And we love it whenever you guys, throw us a curveball. So, definitely send those in and we'll shout you out. If you don't want us to shout you out, just put that in the email. That's totally fine. I did ask Alex's permission and he said it was fine. So we appreciate you, Alex, for being part of our freaky family.
And of course we want to give you guys what you want.
Exactly. We want to give the people what they want.
He told us to check into the disturbing death of a woman named Elisa Lam. So grab a glass.
Grab a friend.
And let's dive in. To this day, no one knows exactly how Elisa died, but they do know that the 21-year-old Canadian college student was last seen at the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles on January 31st in 2013.
This is an unsolved case. Why are all of y'all's suggestions unsolved cases?
The chilling hotel surveillance video captured the bizarre final moments before her disappearance, and other details have emerged since 2013, but have only produced more questions than answers.
Boom, boom, boom.
Elisa Lam was born on April 30th, 1991. Her family immigrated from Hong Kong to Canada, where they opened a restaurant in Burnaby, British Columbia. Elisa was a student at the University Hill Secondary and the University of British Columbia, although she was not registered at the beginning of 2013. In 2010, Lisa began a blog named Etherfields, and for the next 2 years would post pictures of models in fashionable clothing and different accounts of her life, particularly her struggle with mental illness.
So it was like a personal blog?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. It was like all the rage back in 2013. Yeah. If you didn't have a blog, what were you doing?
No, you were not cool.
You were not cool.
In a blog post from January of 2012 titled, "You're Always Haunted by the Idea You're Wasting Your Life," Elisa stated that she relapsed at the start of the current school term and it had forced her to drop several classes, which left her feeling so utterly directionless and lost.
Oh.
She worried that her transcript would look suspicious with so many withdrawals, and that would result in her being unable to continue her studies and attend grad school.
Sure.
Not long after the blog from January of 2012, she announced she would be starting a new blog on a popular site called Tumblr.
Oh my gosh, do you remember Tumblr?
Yeah, I do.
Oh my gosh, was that not like the first Pinterest? You remember?
Yes.
Yes,
it was.
It used to have like recipes and blogs and all sorts, and it all connected it in this like, Tumblr was a thing, y'all.
Yeah, I remember Tumblr. It was kind of, it reminded me of, Xanga.
Xanga. Oh yes, I remember having a Xanga. Xanga was before MySpace.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so we had Xanga first in our generation. Now, Kandi and I are 32. Well, you're not quite 32 yet, but you will
Not
be
yet,
in
yes.
July, right?
Yes.
Okay. And Will and I were arguing the other day about your age.
Why?
I'm not even kidding. Because
Why was it an argument?
because I know how old you are. And I knew that I was right, which is normally the basis of all of our arguments, is me explaining why I'm right. I apologize. Tangent over.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had Zanga first. Okay, so we're 32. We had Zanga first, then MySpace, then Facebook. That was our generation.
Yeah.
But Tumblr was absolutely a thing for us as well. It was like a combination
I didn't have
of
a
like,
Tumblr, though.
I didn't have, well, of course I had one, but I didn't use it because I didn't know how to use it. But it was like a combination of Twitter and Pinterest, like mushed together.
So on her new blog on Tumblr, its content considered of fashion photos, quotes, and a few posts written in her own words.
So it sounds like she was really getting into fashion and stuff like this at the time. Did it say what her major was?
No, I don't believe it does.
Okay.
Elisa had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression, and of course prescribed medications to help her deal with mental health. According to her family, who kept her mental illness private, she had no history of suicidal ideas or attempts, although one report claims she had previously gone missing for a brief period. Unfortunately, she had a history of not taking her medicine like she was supposed to, and this resulted, on several occasions, hallucinations that would cause her to hide under her bed for protection, even causing her to be hospitalized for one of these episodes.
Oh my God, how terrifying. Could you imagine?
No, I couldn't, but I can understand going cold turkey on a medication that you need for your mental well-being.
Yeah, it's so dangerous.
You're like shocking your body.
And your brain.
Because even if they go to change you on something, you're supposed to like wean down, then start whatever new thing you're going to start.
Yeah. Oh, that's terrifying.
So I'm sure when she did sit there and take her medicine and then all of a sudden, boom, I'm not taking it. I could see that happening. So fast forward to January 26th of 2013, Elisa took a trip to California where she visited the San Diego Zoo and posted photos from the zoo on social media on her Tumblr. And her parents had been really weary of her traveling by herself, but she was determined to go, and so she promised to check in daily with her parents. Plus, this was a trip that was supposed to be a getaway from her studies at college. 2 days after arriving in California, she checked into the Cecil Hotel, and she was initially assigned to share a room on the hotel's 5th floor.
With another person?
Yeah, the other roommates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she know these people?
No.
Oh, okay.
And, however, her roommates complained to the hotel. Well, then the hotel's lawyer later described it as certain off behavior.
So the roommates are complaining to the hotel about Elisa's
behavior.
They're saying she's acting weird and it's not feeling right. Off. It's off. Okay.
So she was moved to her own room, and it was said by the manager of the hotel that Elisa was leaving notes for her roommates saying, quote, "go away and go home," unquote.
Oh, that is creepy.
The manager also said that she would lock the door to the room and require a password for entry. It was...
I'm sorry. I just automatically thought of my daughter. What's the password?
Nope, that's not it. And now it's a guessing game because...
Now it's a guessing game.
She's the only one that knows it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, that is definitely some disturbing behavior. For a lady of her age, of course.
Right.
For an adult.
I remember as a child...
My daughter's 8, yeah.
Right, like saying, "What's the password?"
What's the password?
You gotta pretend you know it.
Right.
And you're not ever gonna guess it. You know.
That is off behavior for sure.
Right. It was reported that she had also went to a live taping of Conan in Burbank, but was escorted off their premises by security due to disruptive behavior. When Elise didn't check in with her parents on January 31st, 2013, just 5 days after arriving in California, they found it very odd because, she agreed to check in every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the agreement. Well, her parents contacted the Los Angeles Police Department, and the police searched the Cecil Hotel, but they couldn't find her. Her belongings had been left in her hotel room, like her wallet, her ID, her laptop, but the police put out a bulletin about her missing and mentioned she spoke English and Cantonese. Is that how you say that?
Cantonese.
Okay. that she used public transportation, possibly had mild depression, and was thought to be headed to Santa Cruz, California. Elisa's parents ended up flying out to Los Angeles to help search for their daughter. Hotel staff who reported seeing her that day did say that she was alone, and the manager of a bookstore, her name's Katie Orphan, was the only person who recalled seeing her that day, even saying that she was outgoing, very lively, very friendly, and was getting gifts to take home to her family. Police had search dogs going through the hotel, but they were unsuccessful. They didn't go, like, room to room, but they did do her room, down the hallways, and even on the roof.
Wow.
But the dogs never picked up her scent, and due to the police only able to search where they could legally, they didn't search every room. Like I just said, they could only do that if they had probable cause.
Right.
Which I feel like if someone's missing...
If the dog hits at the door of another room, then that should be probable cause.
But
if the dog
I feel like
doesn't...
if someone is missing, period.
Yeah, but you can't... hotels have to be a tricky thing, though. I mean, I don't know if I was staying at a hotel and somebody went missing, I, as a person, would be like, absolutely search my room.
Right.
But you can't expect everybody to give up their privacy like that.
Well, true.
So, I mean, I can understand both sides of the law, you know? I mean, the fact that it sounds cold, and I don't mean it this way, but I mean, the fact that your loved one is missing shouldn't really impact my privacy.
Well,
I can
like
see
said,
somebody being like that.
If they hint it at the door.
Right, that's probable cause. To
Right.
me, at least. I don't know if it legally is, but it should be.
I don't think
I would trust the dog over a person.
February 6th, a week later, the police decided that they needed more help, and the flyers with her picture were posted in the neighborhood and online. This brought the case to the public's attention, which they hoped would be a big help. The police issued for an appeal for assistance to the public and released the surveillance video of Elisa wearing a red hoodie inside an elevator in the hotel. In the video, it shows Elisa pressing several buttons, looks out the elevator, moves back into the corner, steps outside the elevator, and waves her hands all about. This video drew worldwide attention due to Elisa's behavior and has been extensively analyzed and discussed. Even the Chinese shared the video, where it got 3 million views and 40,000 comments in the first 10 days.
Wow.
So here's the Cecil Hotel. Looks nice. This is Elisa.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Then let's go find the video. What elevator stays open that long?
Yeah. It's taking a really long time for the doors to close.
Isn't that weird?
She's acting like she's hiding from somebody.
Right.
And like she keeps peeking through, like she feels like she's being followed or something is what she looks like.
Yes. And then, I mean, it's very weird behavior.
It's very off behavior, very strange.
I do feel like it's very weird because we've both been in elevators. We get in elevators every week. And doors don't stay open that long.
I wonder if she like pressed the open elevator button.
Don't you have to hold that button?
I don't know. I've never used it.
Anytime I've held it open for like someone to get on, I've had to hold the button.
Or put your hand in the way of the door.
But like she's not, in parts of the video, she's not right there at it.
And she looks really distressed now.
And she's pushing all these buttons.
Yeah, we'll post the video on our Facebook and our Instagram for you guys to see. She keeps just going back and forth, in and out of the elevator.
And it looks like, I mean, she looks like she's talking to someone.
Oh my gosh.
But nobody's there that we see.
Very creepy. Yeah, whenever you say that she's like waving her hands about, it's in very like slow, elegant motions though. She's not flailing.
No, not like she's like yelling at someone.
Yeah. It literally, like, you know how somebody talks with their hands?
Yes.
That's what she looks like she's doing.
So, several theories emerged to explain her actions. One was that Elisa was trying to get the elevator to move in order to escape from someone that was after her, which it looks like that.
Sure, but if somebody was after her, I think they'd have had plenty of time to make it into that elevator.
Right.
I mean, she steps in and out of it 4 or 5 different times while the door is still open.
Right. And then others say that she could have been under the influence of a party drug like ecstasy or Once it was known about her bipolar disorder, people stated that she could have been having a psychotic episode.
Absolutely. That video supports that possibility.
Then there was another theory, apparently, that she was playing a Korean elevator game in which pushing all the buttons in a specific pattern would supposedly open a portal to another dimension.
Okay.
I've never heard of that, but...
we're also not Korean.
We're not, but...
If anybody's aware of this Korean elevator game, please let us know what the theory behind that is and if you've heard of it.
I mean, I remember being little and the first few times I got on an elevator, I wanted to push all the buttons, and my mom's like, "Don't do that."
Well, you know how some people like hold their breath through tunnels. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like we do that. Mm-hmm. You know, but I mean, that's just I don't know. It's like,
but there's I don't know. That's like superstition. She doesn't not going to another dimension.
Exactly, and she doesn't just push all the buttons. I mean, she gets in and out and is clearly having some sort of a conversation with either herself or somebody that we're not seeing,
right?
Or somebody who isn't there at all,
right?
So it's not just this game where you press the buttons in a specific pattern. No, if that was the case, she would have pressed the buttons and then stayed in the elevator and waited for the door to close.
Right. I feel like that would be like a very last.
That's a stretch.
I would even consider.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
Then other viewers said that the video had been tampered with.
Ooh.
And claimed that the parts of the video had been slowed down and nearly a minute of footage had been removed. And this could have been done in order to protect someone.
Okay, I could see the video being slowed down because, as we said, she's not flailing.
No, and
it looks like she's moving her hands in a very elegant way, kind of talking with her hands, like
and
like
the
I'm
door
doing
never
now.
closes.
And the door never closes. So speeding up the video, or slowing it down, I could see.
Yep.
Okay.
So while Elisa was missing, guests at the Cecil Hotel began to complain of low water pressure. So a maintenance worker was called to come look at the issue on February 19th, 2013. They did a search of the hotel on February 6th, February 19th. Almost. I mean, that's a half a month.
Absolutely.
The maintenance worker peered into one of the 4-foot by 8-foot water tanks on the roof of the hotel and spotted a body.
Ugh.
They noticed the hatch of the main water tank was open, and when he looked inside, he saw an Asian woman lying face up in the water, approximately 12 inches from the top of the tank.
There's an SVU about this.
The tank was drained and cut open since the maintenance hatch was too small to accommodate the equipment needed to retrieve the body.
Oh my.
The body was that of Elisa Lam.
Oh my gosh. There's an SVU about this.
Is there really?
A Law and Order. Yep. It's not obviously, it's loosely based on something similar to this. So, it says that it doesn't depict actual events, but there was totally a body found in the water vat of a hotel. Yucca!
Here is the water towers.
Yep.
And as you can see, I mean, the hatches are fairly small.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but they're tall.
Either one.
These are probably like 6-foot men standing here.
Yeah, but you or me could easily fit through one of those.
Yes, we could fit through it, but to get up there...
No, I don't know how you could get up there, but those
like,
hatches are definitely big enough to throw a body in.
Agreed. So entry to the roof was supposed to be restricted, a restricted area, and only hotel employees could access. There was also an interior staircase to the roof that had a lock equipped with an alarm, which was said to be working.
Mm-hmm.
That should have alerted staff that it had been open. But 3 fire escapes also provide access to the roof.
Oh, so they didn't even need to enter the hotel to get up there.
No, I mean, not technically. On February 21st, the LA Coroner Office issued a finding of accidental drowning with bipolar disorder as a significant factor.
Accidental drowning?
Right.
She put herself in that water tank and then stayed in there long enough to... Okay.
Her body was moderately decomposed and bloated, mostly greenish with some marbling, evident on the abdomen and skin separation evident. There was no evidence of physical trauma, sexual assault, or suicide. Toxicology reports showed traces consistent with her prescribed medication and non-prescribed medications such as ibuprofen and Sinutab.
What is Sinutab?
I wonder if it's like a sinus medicine, like Sudafed or something like that.
Yep, stuffy nose and sinus congestion. Okay, so she had taken some ibuprofen and some sinus meds. All right.
Yep, and there were traces consistent to her prescribed medications.
So she was taking some of her medicine then, too.
That's what they say.
That's what the toxicologist says.
A very small quantity of alcohol, 0.02%.
That's nothing.
Right. But no other recreational drugs. But experts and investigators did note that the concentration of her prescription medications in her system did indicate that she was under-medicating or had stopped taking her medications recently. Because, if you're taking your medicine, there should be this much amount, and that was not the case.
If you stop taking that kind of medication, how likely is it that you're going to have a psychotic break within a certain amount of, how long would it take somebody to revert back to...
But if she had stopped taking her medicine before she even went to California...
How much would be left in her system?
Right.
I'm assuming your body stops metabolizing medication and alcohol. Because if the medicine is still breaking down in her body half a month...
Right, you're not going to see it.
After she dies. I would love to know the science behind...
Plus...
Is that an accurate amount of alcohol, and is that an accurate amount of medication in her system?
Right. And then her body was moderately decomposed and bloated. So
it would have to be if they found ibuprofen. Like, your body has to stop metabolizing that kind of stuff then. To find traces of an ibuprofen.
Hold, please.
So it says, although in most cases, metabolism is an energy-dependent metabolic process that stops at death, there are exceptions. Some drugs continue to metabolize after death. Normally when we drink alcoholic beverages, our body processes alcohol and breaks it down into harmless substances over time. In death, however, the body may contain alcohol created by its own bacteria, and this alcohol level can rise as the body decays.
So technically, the alcohol of the 0.02 grams might not even actually been her intaking an alcoholic drink.
The correct amount. Okay, so it seems like some substances continue to metabolize in our body after death, but most of the time, in most cases, that metabolizing process, that metabolic process stops at death for most substances. Also, I would also just like to point out that we are just Googling this. We are finding reputable websites, but we're just reading what we find off the internet.
Yes, we are not doctors or scientists. The investigation provided how she died, but not the explanation of how she got in the tank in the first place.
Of course it didn't.
Apart from the questions on how she got onto the roof, others ask could she have gotten in the tank by herself?
Right.
All 4 tanks that I just showed you a picture of were 4 feet by 8 foot, and there was no fixed accesses to them, like no ladders fixed to them or whatever.
And you can see in the picture that you can't get, up on top of those things.
No, they're 8 foot tall.
Yeah.
And she's probably, 5 foot?
Well, I mean, even a 6 foot man, my husband is 6'2", even if he were to, he would have to lift me, and I would have to use the rest of my body strength to get up there.
Right.
I mean, you could get up there with 2 people easily, but unwillingly?
By yourself?
Come on.
The hotel workers had to use ladders to look into the water.
Mm-hmm.
The autopsy and its conclusions were questioned based on incomplete information. For instance, it does not say that the results of the rape kit and fingernail kit were or even if they were processed. So there's nothing that says a rape kit was done or a fingernail kit was done. And if it was done, there's no record saying it was processed. It also records subcutaneous pooling of blood in her anal area, which some observers suggest was a sign of sexual abuse. Mm-hmm. One pathologist noted it could have also resulted from bloating during the body's decomposition. Mm-hmm. Her rectum was also prolapsed, but the pathologist was unconvinced that Elisa's death was accidental. Since her death, her Tumblr blog was updated, presumably through the Tumblr's queue option, which allows posts to automatically publish themselves then when the user's away.
Oh, okay. Kind of like what we do for ours whenever we schedule posts for our Instagrams.
Yes.
Okay.
Elisa's phone was not found with her body or in the hotel room, so whether the continued updates to the blog were facilitated by the theft of her phone or the work of a hacker through the queue, either one of those is an option, but it's not known. Nor whether the updates to her Tumblr were related to her death. In September of 2013, Elisa's parents filed a wrongful death suit claiming that the hotel failed to inspect and deem out hazards in the hotel that presented an unreasonable risk of danger to Elisa and other hotel guests. But in 2015, the suit was dismissed.
See, I think that the hotel absolutely should have been liable for that.
The case may be closed, but everyone has their own questions and opinions. Like how she entered the water tank on her own if it was 8 foot tall, because she would have needed to get on the roof undetected, whether that be through the locked alarm door or the fire escape on the side of the building. She then would have had to climb a ladder to get on the tank platform, open the heavy lid before getting inside, and not to mention getting undressed because she was located, her body was naked and her clothes were in the tank with her. But I feel like if you're in a body of water for a half a month, that water could disintegrate some of maybe the clothing and it fall off of you.
Well, and you also, you have to think about the temperature.
Yeah.
As well. If the water's cold and her body, if she was conscious, this theory only works if you're conscious going into this water. If it's cold in there, and don't get me wrong, Southern California is pretty hot, but you have to wonder if it was cold. Sometimes people who are suffering from hypothermia get a heat sensation, and a lot of them are found naked because they get so hot while their body is suffering from that hypothermic state that they will strip in the middle of the Alps when they're missing. Now, I can't say that that's anything that happened, with her, of course. Nobody can say that, but
it is still weird that the clothes were in the tank with her.
If she found herself in the tank and woke up and realized that this was a bad situation, she might have taken her clothes off also to prevent herself from having undue struggles with her clothes while she was trying to get out.
True. Because a hoodie is very heavy when it's wet.
Absolutely.
Prior to Elisa staying at the Cecil Hotel, it had rebranded itself from Stay on Main, which has a gruesome history. The hotel, the same hotel, Stay on Main, Cecil Hotel, same place,
same building.
The hotel has been the scene of multiple murders and suicides, dating as far back as the first days of operation in 1927.
Oh my Lord.
One article said that 16 different non-natural deaths and unexplained paranormal events have taken place.
What?
Including a famous death from 1947, the murder of Elizabeth Short, a.k.a. Black Dahlia.
Yeah, we'll definitely add the Black Dahlia to our list.
Yes. In the 1980s, serial killer Richard Ramirez, known as the Night Stalker, stayed at the hotel, and even Jack Unterweger, an Austrian serial killer, was a guest in 1991.
We'll have to add both of them too.
So, with such an awful history, you would think that the hotel would be condemned, but the building was recently granted the landmark status by the Los Angeles City Council.
Lord have mercy.
There are many documentaries about Elisa Lam and her death, and it has even inspired many movies, seasons of TV shows like American Horror Story Hotel, even a game that has a scene where the main character receives a video file and another character is in the elevator door opens to the other dimension, and that the second chapter is captured by a demon.
Wow.
And that is the story of Elisa Lam.
Whew. I hate unsolved cases.
I do too, but I feel like there has to be more to that.
Oh, there absolutely is, but it's just somebody got away with it. That's the thing that drives me nuts about these cases.
And unfortunately, if it was a psychotic episode, the still main question is, how did she get in there?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Even if she was having some sort of a psychotic break and found herself on the roof, think about it. if you're already freaking out about something, exerting that much energy to climb 8 feet onto a vat that you can't get into, to open up a heavy latch, and then to lower yourself into this place and then to die there. Like
right. And it could be that she couldn't swim.
The amount of effort that it takes to put yourself in that position does not sound like a psychotic break to me.
No, and
it's got
think
murder
of
written all over it.
If she was having hallucinations,
mm-hmm.
and she was in a psychotic episode, big fat if, because it still doesn't make sense. Because she still had to get up there.
Mm-hmm.
It's 8 foot
mm-hmm.
full of water. And so, if she gets in there, she can't swim, I don't know.
Well, I mean, like I said, the way that I see it is, it sounds like it would take at least 2 grown men to get her in there, if you think about it. If it's 8 feet tall, again, my husband's a pretty tall guy. He's 6'2". Yes. He's only 6'2" compared to 8 feet tall. It would have taken somebody, a guy, to then lift up another guy to get on top of there. Yep. Then lift her up to that other guy
mm-hmm.
to then get her into that tank.
Yes. Agreed.
And
there's got to be more than one camera. You cannot tell me there's not another camera somewhere else that shows
other than the elevator.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Going up to the roof, going out to the roof on her own,
mm-hmm.
or with someone else.
And if they're going to have a fire escape leading from the street all the way up to the roof, there should be a camera on the roof.
There has to be.
I mean, I can understand not putting a camera on the roof if the only access point... Right, I can understand not putting a camera on the roof if the only access point is from a locked, alarm-coded door from the hotel. But if you're going to have a fire escape, which I'm sure is regulation...
I still feel like
there should be a
camera right there, looking at the picture, actually. Why would you not... What if somebody was going to do something to these water tanks?
Yeah.
Again... Why would you not have, a camera...
somewhere.
Over here?
And there's, an awning right there, so that's probably a door.
Right, and here they are, standing right here in this door.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a window up here.
Yeah.
So what's up there?
What's in that building?
You can't... There's no camera over there? There's no camera on another building? Rooftop?
Yeah.
That you could have... possibly seen something. I don't know.
Yeah, so the episode, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I'm pretty sure it was an SVU Law and Order episode, and obviously they can't say that it was based on this case, but a hotel patron, a person who's staying at the hotel, complains about the water pressure, and then another person in the hotel, gunk and sludge actually comes out of the shower.
Ew.
And it's pretty graphic. But it's because there was a body that was found in the water hotel supply.
Ew. Think of all the people that showered and... Ew.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. The people were complaining about water pressure. Ugh. Thank you, Alex, for your suggestion. We appreciate it. That one is definitely a head scratcher. To bring us back up, this episode does actually post on February 27th, which is National Polar Bear Day.
Oh, so cute.
Yes. So I have found a couple of fun polar bear facts.
Okay.
It says here, and this is just a website that I found called Best Life, and it's 15 polar bear facts. The first one is that they ask to share food by touching their noses.
Oh, like Eskimo kisses.
Yes, it says if you wanted some of your friend's food, you would probably just ask them if they wouldn't mind sharing. Polar bears, on the other hand, ask for a bite to eat with their noses.
Oh, cute.
Yes.
I'm just like, hey, can I have a bite of that?
Can I have a bite of that?
It looks good.
Polar bear twins are very common. When female polar bears give birth, they typically do so in December, and usually can give birth to anywhere between 1 and 4 cubs at a time. But according to Polar Bears International, they typically give birth to pairs of 2, which means twin polar bears are not uncommon.
Oh, that's cool.
2 little baby polar bears. Polar bears actually aren't white. They're not. Don't worry, they look white to us too, but the skin of a polar bear is actually black and their fur is actually translucent. What? Mind blown. They have an amazing sense of smell. Polar bears heavily rely on their great sense of smell to hunt their prey, according to a 2017 study published in Scientific Reports. It's estimated that they can smell a seal on the ice up to 20 miles away.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow. They are the only bears considered to be marine mammals because much of their life depends on the ocean, especially when it comes to food and habitat. Their scientific name is, you guys are going to have to give me a minute on this one. Ursus maritimus. No.
Ursus maritimus.
Still can't.
It actually means sea bear.
Okay.
Yeah. Other animals classified as marine mammals include whales, seals, dolphins, sea lions, walruses, and otters.
Oh, an otter.
I love otters. They're my absolute favorite. They can swim for days at a time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it says it's true. Polar bears are super swimmers. While most humans can barely last an hour in the water, polar bears can swim for days at a time. It says that they report that polar bears regularly swim distances of 30 miles at a time. What's the longest polar bear swim of all time? According to National Geographic, one female polar bear swam for a record-breaking 9 days straight, traveling a distance of 426 miles.
Oh my God.
That's a lot. They are the largest bears on the planet.
I can see that.
According to National Geographic, polar bears, on average, grow up to 8 feet tall and weigh as big as 1,600 pounds. The only bear that could possibly rival the polar bear is, in size, is the brown bear, otherwise known as the Kodiak bear.
8 foot tall.
8 feet tall. The largest polar bear ever recorded weighed more than a ton.
That's a lot.
Polar bears typically weigh between 900 and 1,500 pounds, but the largest polar bear ever recorded weighed in at 2,210 pounds, which is more than a metric ton.
That's a big-ass bear.
It's a big-ass bear.
8 foot.
2,000 pounds. Woo!
Or 2,000 pounds.
They don't hibernate like other bears. When you think about bears, you often think about the hibernation they go through during the winter, but according to Polar Bears International, unlike other bears, polar bears don't really have the need to hibernate. Only pregnant bears stay in a den for months at a time. Can't blame her. To protect, give birth, and nurse their cubs, but other polar bears just stay outside during the winter hunting and doing normal things.
Well, that would make sense. I mean, they're in the cold anyway.
That's their habitat.
So there's not...
Yeah.
It would be very pointless for them to
hibernate through the winter.
Yeah.
It's winter all the time.
That is not where I want to live.
No, I don't want to go there. They can go months without eating. I cannot. Polar bears have to travel long distances to get their food, which explains why they've adapted to going months without eating. According to Polar Bear Necessities, polar bears have the ability to store nearly 150 pounds of food in their stomachs and can enter a metabolic state similar to that of hibernation at any point of the year. In fact, pregnant polar bears can actually go without food or water for 4 to 8 months as they retreat to their den to protect their soon-to-be born. That's crazy.
How can you not eat something and grow a child for 8 months?
Their paws are basically built like snowshoes.
They would have to be.
Yes. They roll in the snow to clean themselves.
I could see that. That would be cold.
Polar bears are known as the apex predator of the Arctic, which makes sense. So, what is the biggest threat to a polar bear? Climate change. According to Discovery Wildlife, polar bears need sea ice to hunt seals, and the reduction of the sea ice through climate change is leading to fewer cub births and reduced survival rates. Aww.
I mean, that is really sad.
And the last fact of polar bears, number 15. They have mated with grizzly bears. It may seem like polar bears have only one possible mate, other polar bears, but it turns out they've actually adapted to mating with grizzly bears. In 2006, National Geographic reported that they found a grizzly bear polar bear hybrid. The bear had white fur with various brown patches, long claws, a concave facial profile, and a humped back. Unofficially named the Growler bear.
They could have found a better name for that.
Or Pizzly bears.
Not that. Not that.
You're telling me that a group of scientists at National Geographic couldn't come up with a better unofficial name?
They definitely could have. I mean, come on. Like, no.
Growler or Pizzly. That's what we got.
But you did answer my question as I sat here. And I was like, well, how did they know? Were they like brown and white?
They had patches. They were spotted bears.
I bet they're cute.
Oh my gosh, I bet they're adorable.
I'm gonna Google it. Hold on.
Let's see these.
What are they called?
Hybrids. Oh my goodness.
Just look how cute and fluffy.
Well, happy National Polar Bear Day. We hope you guys enjoyed these fun facts. The fuck is that?
Here's all the bears of the world.
You can join our freaky family both on Instagram and Facebook and find all of the featured photos from this episode at Sips of Crime.
Check out our website, www.sipsofcrime.com. There you can get to know a little about us and stay up to date with our monthly newsletter. We love connecting with our listeners and enjoy sharing your personal true crime, paranormal, or just downright funny stories. So submit those through the form provided on the website.
You can also help us grow our freaky family by sharing the podcast with others. And of course, let's not forget rocking our merch.
Thanks for listening.
Stay alive.